approaches this one. A soaring blast out deep right field and gone! And Odor has done it again.
Rougned Odor plays with an edge. Small in stature, his game stands larger than his size.
There's that one over second. What a play by Odor. And Odor sends it high in the air. It is gone! A home run! And that was a massive blast.
A relentless competitor.
Bouncer second base. Flagged beautifully by Odor to second for one. On to first. Got him! Double play.
His passion for baseball fuels the fire within. Who dares oppose him?
Going back on that to the wall. Off the fence. And inside the park, home run for Rougned Odor. Hits this ball well. Out to right field. Gone! Wow, Rougned Odor with his second home run. Ah, these fans, they love it. We'll see if Rugi can keep it going this afternoon. The final game of this three-game series. Rangers and Astros from Minute Maid Park. Rangers have taken the first two, and they go for the sweep this afternoon. Hello again, folks. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nitkowski, and last night was all Rougned Odor. That said, he wasn't the only one involved last night. Really, the first two games of this series might be the best two all-round games that this team has played.
Yeah, and you're really kind of a surprise when you think about what happened at home and losing 4 straight to the Oakland A's. You come down here to Houston, of course, the first-place ball club. You wonder how will things go. Well, so far, so good. And it started with the pitching, and facing this Astros lineup is certainly no easy task, but it's been so far so good through 2 games here. Gerardo was fantastic against this Astros lineup. The defense has been very good as well. No errors so far compared to 4 for the Astros, but it has been the offense that has really stuck out here. 18 runs now on 29 hits through 2 games. A lot of fun watching Odor yesterday with those 5 hits. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has had a nice series as well. Everything very good so far in 2 games in Houston.
Yeah, the fact that we're talking about Rugi after what IKF has done the first 2 days, after Gerardo's excellent performance yesterday, speaks a lot to how well the Rangers' second baseman has been swinging it. Not just in this series, but really for quite a long stretch now. Rougned Odor, well, Emily Jones puts him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner's Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
of this series going extremely well for these Texas Rangers, getting it done both on the pitching side and on the hitting side. And no bigger hitting story than the one we saw unfold last night here at Minute Maid Park. It is our Shiner Sea Salt and Lime Spotlight. And who else do we find in that spotlight but Rougned Odor? His first career 5-hit game. He got it done in every possible way. Doubles, singles, home runs inside the park, the more conventional home run as well. Rougie also getting it done on the bases. That intensity that he plays with really coming out last night and really benefiting this Texas Rangers team as they take the first 2 games of this series. And Rougie looks to be rounding into form. And when you take a look at the numbers over the last 3 seasons, you see just how much improvement has been made, especially considering the slow start that Rougie got off to in 2018. Really took a look at himself, put in the work, and has returned to the player that we've seen in the past, and hopefully a player that we'll continue to see in the future. The finale of this 3-game series between the Astros and the Rangers coming up next here on Fox Sports Southwest. Mike Minor gets the start for the Rangers. Lance McCullers Jr. will be on the hill for the Astros on the first pitch, and the lineups coming up next.
Rangers baseball is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner's Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. Rangers baseball presented by Shiner's Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. Yeah, that's the scene outside today. Indoors, oh, very comfy in here. And these two getting along well. Big dance-off yesterday. Guzzi playing catch with Orbit today. No! That's not going to work out well for Orbit. Hey, how about this? This is the final time that these two teams get together this year, and I've expressed a little bit of hesitation about that. No other division series ends this season before August 26th. So in division, it's just unusual that you'd be done this early. The last time you saw an in-division season series end in July was some 12 years ago, Reds and Brewers. And the last time to end on July 29th or earlier, well, you got to go back to 2004 when the Cubs and Cardinals wrapped it up. That's equally absurd. Cubs and Cardinals being done that early in the year. Of course, all this data since 1969 divisional play. But the Rangers and the Astros in division, in state, big time rivals done after today. And it's kind of a wild situation, but it is what it is. So time now for our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. 44 and 62. They've taken the first two of this series. Chu will lead it off. Odor at second. Profar at short. Gallo bats cleanup in right field. Kiner Falefa at third base. Guzman at first. And it's Chirinos, Willie Calhoun, and Delano DeShields rounding it out. Beltre getting a day off today. Kiner Falefa in the lineup for the third straight day because this ballpark was apparently built for his use. Great foresight by the Houston franchise as Shin-Soo Choo waves at strike one from Lance McCullers Jr.
It's not like Chu at all to chase a fastball out of the zone. First pitch, we know he's not afraid to get after the first one. You see what he's done against Lance McCullers Jr. over the course of his career. But at the same time, McCullers throws so many off-speed pitches. You see a fastball early, that certainly could be part of the plan for these Rangers hitters today. You make an offer at that fastball if it looks to be close to the zone.
Well, takes a breaking ball for strike two. Well, Chu, 281 with a batting average, 18 home runs, but it's been a while. Home runs haven't been coming quite as frequently lately. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Been a big power year overall for Chu, but those seem to have come in bunches. Cullers catches the outside corner with a breaking ball, strike 3 called. See how they react to Odor.
Second baseman, number 12, Rougned Odor.
Not that bad.
Nope.
Not that bad.
It's Sunday afternoon. We're in a more of a pleasant mood. It's early.
Had a huge night last night. 5 for 5. Couple of home runs, including an inside the Parker and a double to go with it. And he is locked in right now as he takes a strike from McCullers. It's a career high in terms of hits for Odor. And 5 hits, a bit of a rarity. At least in Rangers history. It's a pitch sweeps in from the outside, catches a corner. Here are the last 4 5-hit games. You got to go back to 2013 for the most recent. Craig Gentry, Josh Hamilton, an unforgettable game against Baltimore back in 2012. But Odor strikes out swinging, and McCullers has that breaking ball working early.
Take a look at the pitch arsenal for Lance McCullers Jr. And I mentioned lots of off-speed pitches. This is what he does. Brought to you by Shiner's Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. 46% curveballs, 37% on the 2-seam fastball. You'll see the changeup as well. But that combined curveball and changeup usage, 63% on the off-speed pitches. That is the highest usage among all major league starters.
Work to Jurickson Profar now. That one a little bit in. Profar playing pretty well lately. You see the last 7 games up over 300. It's this ball the other way, but foul and out of play.
We'll take a look at the defense here for the Astros, which is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Tony Kemp in left, George Springer in center, and Josh Reddick in right for AJ Hinch's club. And in the infield, JD Davis, Alex Bregman, Yuri Gurriel, Tyler White, and Martin Maldonado making his first start for the Astros.
That's a weird looking defensive alignment. We have not seen Jose Altuve in this series. He was placed on the disabled list after the game yesterday. Figured, well, there are any number of options they could have gone with at second base today. Marwin Gonzalez had been handling second. But Yulieski Gurriel at second base.
He's never started there. He's played 7 innings at second base, and that was last year.
Bouncer back to the mound, and that's a quick 1-2-3 for Lance McCullers. So the Rangers go quietly in their half today. Mike Minor ready to go to work. The Astros 67-39 overall, a 5-game lead over Seattle in the American League West. And looking at their lineup today, George Springer leading it off in center field. Alex Bregman, the shortstop, bats second. There's Gurriel playing second base, batting third. It's Gaddis, Josh Reddick, and Tyler White at first base just called up. J.D. Davis over at third base. Martin Maldonado in his Astros debut catching, and Tony Kemp in left field.
We'll take a look at the pitch arsenal for Mike Minor. What he has used so far this season. Four-seam fastball at 48%, slider at 24%, the changeup and the curveball all part of what Mike Minor does. That curveball has probably been the best pitch. When we look at the batting average against, just 154 on the curveball, and the only pitch in which he has not allowed a home run this season.
So all set to go. Pretty much everything has gone according to plan for the Rangers in this series. And now, this afternoon, trying to complete what will be just a terrific swing through the southern part of the state. As the first pitch to Springer, a little bit high. Springer, 252 average, 18 home runs. You see the 55 RBIs, decent numbers overall for him, and he's been good in the second half. This one lifted high in the air, but short right field, and making the long run in for it. Gallo, one away.
The Rangers defense this afternoon is delivered by the Texas Department of Transportation. Willie Calhoun, Delino DeShields, and Joey Gallo in the outfield for the Rangers, and in the infield, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is at third, Jurickson Profar at short, Rougned Odor at second, Ronald Guzman at first, and Robinson Chirinos back behind the plate catching Mike Minor.
So one quick out. Minor 6 wins, 6 losses, and a 483 earned run average. It's his 20th start of the year. Left-hander throwing a little wrinkle to the Astros here. They really kind of shuffled that lineup around a bit. This one fouled away. It's 0-2. That's part of the reasoning for some of the defensive anomalies today for the Astros. AJ Hinch saying before the ball game, got some guys who wanted to get in there or keep in there with the left-hander, and so with Altuve hurt, Correa hurt, forced him into a unique look today. 1-2 the count to Bregman.
This lineup just doesn't look quite the same without Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve, and understandably so. I mean, those are two big pieces that they have up the middle. You have to start moving some guys around a little bit, and much different look for the Astros.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bregman. Got a home run yesterday late in the game, 2-run shot. It's his only hit so far in the series, 1 for 6. Hits this ball hard down the left field line, foul. And that's, a lot of what we have seen from him in this series. Some foul balls like that. Hit well, but a little too far out in front. The home run yesterday went out into the Crawford boxes in left field. He has been out in front of just about everything he's hit in this series or put in play in this series. And he takes strike 3 called. So Bregman down, looking 2 away.
That was a filthy 2-seam fastball from Mike Minor. Alex Bregman stands on top of the plate. You mentioned some of that pull power. This ball starts in off the plate and watch it come back. Look at the late movement on that thing. That was pretty incredible from Mike Minor. My goodness, that looked like a wiffle ball. It's like a right-handed cutter. That might have actually, at 88, that might have been a changeup. You usually don't throw your changeup front door like that to a righty. It's a pretty interesting pitch there from Mike Minor. His fastball usually a lot harder than that. It might have been. Regardless, I mean, that's one of those things that Alex Bregman's just not looking for. You're a right-handed hitter, and you see a changeup, you're always thinking it's going to be middle away, something that's going to fade off the plate. It's a pretty special pitch from Mike Minor.
Uriel with a soft liner, second base. And Odor puts it away, an 11 pitch. Bottom of the first inning, Mike Minor sharp out of the gate this afternoon. We go to the second, no score. The second, our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. We got Rangers percentage of home runs, percentage of hits rather, that are home runs in the American League. Joey Gallo, second all time, only to himself last year. A lot of home runs as a general rule with Joey. 40% of his hits this year have gone over the fence. 26 home runs overall, 59 RBIs for Gallo. Getting on base right near league average at 307. He takes that one away. Yeah. Fastball there at 95, and it'll even things up at 1-1. See the last 4 games, some good numbers there at the bottom of your screen. Couple of homers, 5 driven in. Back to a breaking ball.
McCullers is going to get that call. That's going to be a tough one for the Rangers, especially for the lefties that are in the lineup tonight. And there are no shortage of them. You got 5 natural left-handed hitters, plus Jurickson Profar as the switch hitter.
He's got some movement on it today. 2-2 the count. And he likes it. I mean, he loves to throw that breaking ball. Despite the fact when you watch him, you think, wow, that's a pretty good looking fastball, but he doesn't throw it maybe as often as one might expect. And there's another one of those off-speed offerings off the plate. Gallo continues to show a very disciplined eye, and that has gone a long way towards some of the improved production. Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout from the Pullers. Well, here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, our TXU Energy power player to watch. Yeah, he has loved hitting in this ballpark. 3 home runs, an average over 300 for Kiner-Falefa. And those 3 home runs, that's of the 4 total he has hit this year. 3 of them have come in this ballpark. 6 hits and 9 tries in this series. So he has been a big part of the Rangers' attack.
Take a look at the home run that we saw Isaiah hit last night in this ballpark, and against Justin Verlander, who left the slider up there trying to go down and away, left it in the middle of the plate, and it was a no-doubter here. Second one of the series for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
This one up the middle, cut off by Bregman. And they'll throw out Kiner-Falefa. 2 away. Bregman getting the start all 3 days here at shortstop for the Astros. Carlos Correa getting closer and closer to being ready to come off the disabled list for Houston, but not quite there yet. Bregman very comfortable at the position himself, so that has worked out for A.J. Hinch. But they will no doubt be thrilled to get Correa back soon. Ronald Guzman takes strike 1. .40 RBIs in 79 games at the big league level. Rolls it to the right side. Well, Yulieski Gurriel, very natural over at that position. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the 2nd. After an inning and a half, no score. Either team. Our Kubota power stats. Rangers starters in this series. Yeah, Ariel Arado, one of them yesterday. Brilliant. 2-0. 0.79 ERA. That started well by Gallardo on Friday. Astros hitting just 108 so far in the series. Big Evan Gattis will lead things off here in the second inning. Gattis, the DH. Rode in from the mountains earlier today. It's tough for these day games. Get all his chores done, all the wood chop. 2-0. He's not had a lot of success against Minor in his career. 1 for 10 against him. It's a big swing and a miss that time. 2-1.
Now that's the changeup you expect to see to righties, where it starts it down the middle, runs to the outside part of the plate, especially in a fastball counts. A really good pitch, but Mike Minor looks like he's got a little bit of extra movement on that changeup this afternoon.
Little tapper off the end of the bat, and that stays fair. Guzman catches a break. He'll go to the bag with it, and Gattis retired. Well, off the end of the bat, well, you never really know, depending on the kind of English it gets. And of course, it split that thing. Little transverse break to that.
Well, take a look at the pitch here. And there's another changeup from Mike Minor. Evan Gattis is way out front. He expected that thing to shoot to the right, but because he caught it off the end, it had some funky spin, and it stayed fair and rolled right to Ronald Guzman.
So Josh Reddick, one of 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup today, and he takes strike 1. Reddick 0 for 7 in the series. We mentioned the other night he's had a lot more of his success this year against right-handed pitching. Not unusual, or rather in his career, against right-handed pitching. But he's actually held pretty strong against lefties this season. Oddity, perhaps. Never knows why. Sometimes those splits don't follow form, but 1-2 the count now. Reddick today batting 5th for the Astros. The Astros have never been swept this year. Rangers with an opportunity to do that. The Astros also have not lost 4 consecutive games this season. And the win today dropped them to 4 in a row. So Banny could get a lot done here in one afternoon.
Good fastball there. What we've seen from Reddick so far in this series, when you've stayed away, we've seen him pull off, and the Ranger pitchers have a pretty good feel for how they want to handle him, and they've pitched him pretty well so far in this series. You locate away, it seems like you had a pretty good chance of getting Reddick out.
He swings and misses. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Mike Minor.
He goes back to the fastball, trying to go down and away, but he's got enough on this heater to get it by Josh Reddick. That's 95 miles per hour on the 4-seam fastball for Mike Minor.
So he'll go to work now against Tyler White. Did not play in this series the first 2 games, just called up, and he takes a little bit high. Second go round with the Astros beginning today. Earlier in those 15 games, hit for a very low average. Oh, he's got a little pop. And with Altuve going to the disabled list, they called up White, who will play primarily first base, although A.J. Hinch said he could play him at second base. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
It's interesting to see how the Astros have to handle their second base situation when Jose Altuve is out, based on what we've seen. We haven't seen anybody that looks like a second baseman yet. Marwin Gonzalez is a big guy. Gurriel's never started there.
This ball hit well down the line, off the pole. Tyler White hits the foul pole for a solo home run. And the Astros lead early today, 1-0.
Mike Minor tried to go back to the changeup. He's had a very good one today. The previous changeup missed up. This one sat a little bit more middle. And White was able to go out and hook and just barely keep it fair. So we saw, what, 9 of the 10 runs scored in last night's ball game came via the home run. And here we are with 1 run across the board so far this afternoon. And that comes via the home run.
Off the bat, I felt like it was going to stay a little more fair than that. You could see it hooking, but it didn't appear that it really had a shot to go foul. That was a lot closer, I'm sure, than White would have wanted. Question for you. You're a big Chick-fil-A guy.
I am.
Not open today. Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe Tyler White was upset about that. To take it out on the Chick-fil-A fair pole. It's fair pole to left. It's a foul pole to right. The way that they have it written up here.
J.D. Davis backs out for a moment, down to the count 1-2. Minor goes right back after him. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, 3 strikeouts. And the first 2 innings for Mike Minor. But Tyler White with a home run has given the Astros their first lead of this series, 1-0 to the 3rd. Jack Daniels. Your friends at Jack Daniels remind you to drink responsibly. Well, 94 degrees outside today, 73 here inside. Tyler White with a home run has the Astros in front. It's the first time they have led in this series. The Rangers now will set the bottom third of the order in this 3rd inning against Lance McCullers Jr. Chirinos takes a borderline strike, that fastball at 96. You see a little exchange with Hunter Whittlestad, our plate umpire, and Martin Maldonado, catcher. All of them appreciating the interest in the strike call.
Good kind of strong shift here from the Astros against Robinson Chirinos. Lots of room on the right side. You should see Tyler White all by himself. The Astros, of course, shift more than anybody in Major League Baseball.
High fly ball to center field. Springer is there, one away. Gives us a moment now. Pick up a little message from our friends over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
First fly ball out against McCullers. And now runs it a little in on Willie Calhoun. McCullers not going to get a lot of outs in the air. Most of his damage on the ground or strikeouts. 10th game for Willie Calhoun. It's 1-1. 2 hits in this series, a sac fly and an RBI for Willie. Two and 1.
It's the rare changeup from Lance McCullers. You don't see it too often from him. It's that heavy fastball and curveball usage, but he mixes in a changeup there against the lefty Calhoun.
And a breaking ball in there, even the count at 2-2. Willie, one of 7 Rangers players in the lineup today, 25 and younger. Swings and misses, strike 3, and that's 4 strikeout for McCullers. Well, this is the final game of this series as we take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Traveling after this one to Arizona, a pair of games in the desert tomorrow and then Tuesday nights. Off day on Wednesday, and then a little homestand 4 with Baltimore and Seattle coming to town. For Seattle, they've had an opportunity the last couple of nights with Houston losing to pick up some ground. So too have the Oakland A's, and neither of them have won a game the last 2 days. It's meant that Houston maintains their 5-game advantage. Delano up yesterday. Pulls this one foul, 1-1. Or maybe he just missed it entirely. That's the case may be. McCullers 1-1 pitch. And that one also missed.
So interesting to see Delano right back in the lineup. Everyone kind of curious. He gets back up here a little bit quicker than expected, but because of the injury to Ryan Rule, we saw him come in yesterday and ended up playing defense, and Carlos Tocci got moved over to the corner outfield position. So what happens coming up, I think, will be interesting to keep an eye on, because Carlos Tocci, we believe, is going to get a consistent opportunity. He has, but now with Delano back, not starting this afternoon, we'll see what happens once they get to Arizona and how Jeff Bannister kind of treats this situation, because there are a couple of guys you want to get a look at, with Willie Calhoun, of course, and Carlos Tocci. Delano's trying to kind of get things turned around a little bit as well. And so how they balance the outfield, I think, is something worth keeping an eye on.
Well, the Shield strikes out swinging, and it completes another 1-2-3 for McCullers. We head to the last of the 3rd inning. Astros leading the Rangers 1-0. to lead things off here. Our showstopper, Maldonado, came from the Angels. Opened up a spot for Francisco Arcia. And in his first 2 games, 10 RBIs.
That's amazing. You wait and you wait. And you believe that you can play at the big league level and you get an opportunity to do it. And it's been a nice couple of days for him. And perseverance, once again, the story happens so often in our game. Those are easy guys to root for.
12 years in the minor leagues before his opportunity, and he didn't waste it. Meanwhile, Martin Maldonado, a Gold Glover last year with the Angels, traded to the Astros, and offensively he was scuffling. Hitless in his last 23 at-bats with the Angels. And they think here that maybe if they play him a little less than Mike Scioscia was in Anaheim, that the offensive numbers will improve. Defensively, there's no debating his value, but A.J. Hinch expecting to use him a little more sparingly. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out here to start the 3rd inning, and that was not a very competitive at bat.
Well, nobody has caught more innings since the beginning of last year than Martin Maldonado, and so what the Astros plan on doing with him, I think, was something that's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Is there some fatigue there? Has that been the part of the offense as you see him chase that breaking ball? That back foot breaking ball down and in. Good pitch by Mike Minor. It's tough because Martin Maldonado's not going to tell you that he'd be better off playing less. He wants to be out there every day, but we'll see if they get better results by playing him sparingly.
Tony Kemp, 9th place hitter. Looking to drag one down the 3rd baseline. You see the numbers for Kemp. Really not too bad. And last year they had Nori Aoki at the bottom of the order for a good part of the season, who gave them some real competitive at bats in that 9-hole. Not on base for him. In some ways, Tony Kemp has replicated a little bit of what they got out of Aoki last year. And a high on base guy this season. Started the game Friday, went 0 for 3. Did not play yesterday. Rangers playing pretty much straight away. Shanked that one foul into the seats.
Yeah, I don't think you look at Kemp as a guy that will be able to pull Mike Minor. Not that he can't, but not enough to the point where you would shade him to that right side. And he's got the lower batting average, 242 against lefties coming in. You see a hitter like this, and you would think, if anything, he'd have his best chance trying to take Mike Minor to the opposite field.
2-2 the count. Kemp more walks than strikeouts, and a .390 on base percentage this year for him. And he takes a close strike 3, and he'll go down looking. So Minor shaves a corner, and that's his 5th strikeout tonight. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's throw it back to John Radigan. Thanks, John. Cleveland, an 8-game lead in the division. Easily the largest divisional lead in baseball. Springer at the plate, takes one off the plate. 2-0. 0 for 1, he flied out to right field. Think about some of the mainstays in the Astros batting order. Some of the guys they lean on heavily. Springer certainly one of them, and right now maybe the only one of the usual customers or suspects. Correa and Altuve down. McCann hurt.
It's a big swing from George Springer on a 3-0 count. Mike Minor might have been thinking, I'll get myself a fastball for a strike, but Springer going after it.
Now a little tapper by the mound. Profar is there, throws him out. Inning over, 1-2-3 again for Minor. So 3 innings in the books. And the Astros holding on to the 1-0 lead. Astros lead 1-0 right now. Coming up Saturday, August 4th, Rangers-Orioles, 7:05 first pitch. First 15,000 fans will get a Vladimir Guerrero Hall of Fame bobblehead, courtesy of Allstate. Tickets are at TexasRangers.com. We'll be calling 972-RANGERS. Vlad having his day today, Cooperstown. Special day in baseball every year. Hall of Fame Sunday, although I've noticed more and more people advocating for maybe moving the day just a little bit. As Chu leans out, and that one 2-0.
A poor cell connection service in Cooperstown. I've heard that complaint for a couple of executives that are at the Hall of Fame weekend, and the whole idea of being able to maybe pull off some trades. What's that? Who would you want? You know, that's the last thing. You confuse the names. Which Johnson? Yeah, we can't be having that deadline time.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, the trade deadline talk, it gets to be a pretty big deal, and it does steal a little bit of the thunder from what should be a really special weekend. And this one, a called strike, 2-2. Colors has gotten some calls here early on. 5 strikeouts for him through the first 3 innings. Pretty efficient each inning as well. But this second time through the order, we'll see if the Rangers make an adjustment. 2 swings and misses, and he strikes out to start the 4th.
So that strikeout right there really speaks to the tightness of the breaking ball of Lance McCullers Jr. Wasn't that well located. It hung up and away, but it is so tight, the rotation on it. And Chu ended up swinging right through it. We know he's a great contact hitter. McCullers so tough with that breaking ball.
So 6 punch outs for him. And now Rougned Odor, he too struck out in the first.
As a Ranger fan, you have to start thinking about when you're making your trip to Cooperstown, the day that Adrian Beltre officially announces his retirement. 5 years from that moment, make your reservations.
Odor flies out to center, 2 away. Bring up Turks and Topar. Hey, it's time now for our Lowe's whole team together. We were talking about this a little earlier. Rangers 25 and younger. And you look at their RBIs, Gallo, Mazzara, Profar, all with 50 or more. Guzman, Odor, and Kiner Falefa up there. Of course, Odor missed so much time for injury. Mazzara missing a little time. Guzman is rookie year.
Well, it's not only that, but look at each of those guys. Some of them obviously getting their first opportunities in the big leagues, but also the strides that guys that have been here are making in that group. And then we saw Hirado yesterday at 22 years old and how encouraging his outing was. And even though this is not the season that Ranger fans necessarily were hoping to get in 2018, there is a reason to be encouraged. And there's a lot of good things happening right now. And some young guys getting opportunities and really producing. I mean, that guy right there, what he has done lately, Rougned Odor, has been pretty incredible. Jurickson Profar has shown us a lot this season.
All right, this ball hit well out to right field. Base hit. Profar is the first base runner of the day for the Rangers. And has their first hit. Now, a lot of positive from Jurickson Profar this year.
The swings have been good. He does a good job here of taking that pitch. It's middle with some good movement at the end of it and lining it into right center field. But I don't think any of us knew that we were going to see Isaiah Kiner-Falefa this year or Ronald Guzman. And now that we've seen them, you see the upside as well and how they could play a potential big role as the Rangers think about moving forward and what happens here in the future. And when you start seeing that from some of your young players, you realize, well, he's got to add this, add that, a couple little things here and there, and maybe this gets turned around a lot faster than maybe some people were expecting.
We use that phrase every now and then, you know, let's find out about certain guys. And a lot of times you wait to find out. Always better to find out earlier as opposed to later. But it's always much more pleasant when you find out that, hey, they're pretty good. They're decent. The Rangers have some really good young talent.
Nobody was wanting Elvis Andrus to go on the DL or Rougned Odor or Adrian Beltre this year, but that's what happened. And that's what opened up the door for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Ronald Guzman and more steady playing time for Jurickson Profar.
Gallo waiting on a 1-strike offering. On a hole 0-2.
Not comfortable at all on that breaking ball. Lance McCullers Jr., he's got a good one. There's no two ways about it. It's tight. And you get excited about that spin rate that's been averaging 2,778 rotations per minute. We were talking about that. And, you know, 2778 compared to 2788. How important all that is. But it's tight. That's all you need to know. You can put a number on it, but the hitters will really tell you what that means based on some of the swings. I mentioned Chu, that one right there from Joey previously. And what do you throw? 24 in a row in the postseason? 24 breaking balls in a row? Used to be unheard of. Pitching coaches would yell at you if you tried to do that. They'd make you throw your fastball, but Lance McCullers Jr. has shown us, no, that actually could work in really big spots.
It's 1-2. A swing and a miss. He gets another strikeout. So the Rangers leave a man for the first time today. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0.
with 45 pitches through 3 innings, and the Rangers' desire to limit his innings, and more particularly those stressful innings, has been well documented. Minor not exactly pleased about the fact that he's being held back, but he does understand why the team has decided to do that, thinking more in terms of his long-term future and, of course, working his way back from that bullpen role. But Jeff Bannister said it's not just the innings, it's a lot has to do with the stressful innings where he gets to that 20-pitch mark, and not even just that 20-pitch number, but also too, if there are runners on base, just those different sort of situations that they take a look at with the eyeball test to judge if they're stressful or not.
And so far, really not much in the way of stressful innings today. The 1 run was a solo homer, and nobody else has reached. He works to Alex Bregman here. Bregman, Gurriel, and Evan Gattis doing the 4th.
You love that about Mike Minor, of course, the idea that he doesn't want to be held back, but the reality is, because he was a reliever all of last year, you have to be very careful these innings, and you bring a guy in on a 3-year deal, you want to get production out of all 3 of those years, and based on how the Rangers season has gone, you want to get as many as you can within that safe zone so you can push him over the next couple of seasons. He wants to get pushed now, and that's great, you can appreciate it, but I think it's a really smart play by the Rangers how they're handling Mike Minor right now.
Behind on Bregman here, 3-1. And he gets Bregman to pop it up. Back behind home plate. Chirinos, no play. So we understand we're experiencing some audio technical issues here intermittently. So from time to time you may be hearing some garbled audio. We're aware of it. Working on it. When I say we, certainly not CJ and I. But smart people who know things are working on it, and they're doing their best, and hope to have it all smoothed out here for you very shortly. Our apologies. First full count of the afternoon for Minor. And a little longer look in, so Bregman backs away.
See if he goes back to that changeup. It was such a good one that he threw to Bregman last time with 2 strikes. It was a changeup in, very unconventional.
Oh, swing and a miss, and he gets Bregman to strike out for a 2nd time today.
Instead, he elevated the fastball in a good one. Very difficult to get Alex Bregman to swing miss, especially pitches that might be out of the zone. This was borderline, but that's Mike Minor reaching back for a little bit extra and getting it by the Astros shortstop this afternoon.
A little bit in. That's closest now. Pretty close. At 22-2, both of these guys in decent places. And obviously, the Blues fans either. That'll do it.
Both have caught a groove here through 3+.
One ball, 2 strikes. Gurriel fouls off another one. Gurriel, it's just his 2nd year in the big leagues, and he's 34 years old. He was a superstar in Cuba. In fact, the last time he started a game at second base was back when he played professionally in Cuba, 2013, but has to start today at second. Takes outside, 2-2.
The run that he is getting on that changeup today is incredible. I don't remember seeing this from Mike Minor in the past, and maybe it's the angle too that we have here. We're at Minute Maid Park, and you're directly behind home plate. You get a much better feel for movement on pitches. Look at both of those, and you think about where those 2 pitches finish, one way in, one away. Mike Minor's got it working in both directions this afternoon, even though both of those missed. It's good movement each way, and it also helps with the fastball. Makes that 4-seam fastball look a little bit better, get a little bit more jump, that high spin.
Oh, swing and a miss as Gurriel went chasing. And another strikeout for Minor. Well, next Sunday, August 5th, Rangers and Orioles, 2:05 for the first pitch, and the first 15,000 fans are going to get a Ted Williams first Rangers manager bobblehead, courtesy of Sweet Baby Ray's. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com, or you give them a call, 972-RANGERS. Get yourself set up, come on out to the park. 7 strikeouts for Minor. Gaddis grounded out in the second inning, right off the end of his bat. He was 3 for 3 in the ball game Friday night, went 1 for 4 yesterday. Homered Friday. It's his 20th of the year, and he takes a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. So Minor has allowed just 1 base runner so far this afternoon. This one lifted high in the air out to left field. Calhoun back there in that little crook in the wall, and he'll make the catch. The inning is over. Bad aim by Gaddis, and well played by Mike Minor and Calhoun. We've played 4 complete, 1-0 Houston.
Built for baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile, and we're going to take you through Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's big weekend here in Houston. First, a home run on Friday, and then on Saturday against Justin Verlander. Second of the series, 4 home runs now in the career of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and 3 of them have happened here at Minute Maid Park. He joked about it on Friday and said, well, it's a small ballpark, so it gives me an opportunity to hit some home runs, and he's talked about the fact that he's not necessarily a power hitter, except when he comes to Houston. He didn't say that part, but it's pretty obvious to the rest of us.
That's worked out well for him. Well, Colors, meanwhile, has had very little give in his game today. He's allowed just 1 Rangers base runner. That was Profar with a base hit last inning. And Kiner-Falefa couldn't hold up. 1-2. Little roller, shortstop. Bregman flips it quickly on the run. He needed to get Kiner-Falefa 1 away. The next Rangers and Orioles wrap up their 4-game series, and country music group Lone Star will perform a post-game concert presented by Budweiser. Tickets available right now at TexasRangers.com/concerts. One out. Here is Ronald Guzman.
And the pitch is strike. Guzman grounded out in the second inning.
Not been real good lately, except for today. Coming into this series, Rangers drew Keuchel, who had probably been on the hottest stretch of the season for him. Verlander, who's been pitching great from jump this year.
Outside of that start he had against the Tigers 2 starts ago.
True, that's true.
They got him for 4 homers, but you're right. It's been an unbelievable season for him.
You figured those two were going to be the tougher matchups, and the Rangers acquitted themselves quite well the last 2 nights, winning the opening 2 games. And meanwhile, McCullers, who has struggled his last few, looking a lot sharper today. And he gets a swing and a miss, so Guzman strikes out, but that one gets away from Maldonado, and Guzman reaches. So a strikeout, but good hustle, and Guzman aboard.
Hey, take it any way that you can get it. I mean, the breaking ball right now of Lance McCullers Jr. is really, really good, but the way that things have gone, you'll be okay with that. And check this out with Lance McCullers Jr. This is updated through today. He is now second in all of baseball in strikeouts via the curveball, second only to his teammate in Charlie Morton. We'll see Zach Godley. I don't know if he's scheduled to start actually, but he's with the Diamondbacks, isn't he? Yeah, Zach Godley. Jose Barrios, we've already seen with the Twins. But it's been a good breaking ball. No 2 ways about it.
And we will see Godley in the second game of that series Tuesday night. His first pitch to Chirinos is taken for a strike. Robbie flied out in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1.
So obviously that goes down as a wild pitch, right?
Yep,
So
strikeout
that's
wild pitch.
12 now for McCullers this year. Now you could see why on that breaking ball where it can be a little bit of an issue. He came into this one 5th in the American League in wild pitches. And for Martin Maldonado, who obviously hasn't caught Lance McCullers Jr. before, that's going to be part of the new adventure. And he's very good behind home plate. I'm not sure how many catchers would have been able to get to that ball, if any, quite honestly. But that'll be part of it. I mean, so far Maldonado's looked pretty comfortable with McCullers.
Two and 1 the count.
And this process too is interesting. Obviously McCullers has been throwing the ball well, but for Martin Maldonado, who did such a great job with the Angels, really got an opportunity to play in Milwaukee once Jonathan Lucroy left, right, if I'm not mistaken. That was kind of his path, and then does a really nice job with the Angels, getting to know your pitchers. And what are the keywords? What do you say? Like knowing, it's just like coaching, right? There's certain guys that need to be, kind of arm around the shoulder. Hey, you're doing really good. Don't worry about it. There's certain guys that need to be talked to sternly. There's certain guys that you actually ask them a question, let them talk. Like all of that is part of the process for a catcher. You are as much of a psychologist as anything when you put on the gear. You don't know a guy. It's a little bit of a feeler process and how he may react to what you have to say. Or really even knowing what gets a guy locked in. Sometimes just pumping him up and telling him how great, your fastball's unbelievable today. Wow, the breaking pitch is crazy sharp. Whatever it is, you blow a little smoke here and there to get a guy excited. Whatever the process. For Maldonado now, with each of these pitchers, he's got a couple of months to figure it out.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip by Chirinos. He stays alive. So self-evaluate a little bit there, CJ. What was the key if a guy was going to come out and say something to you? How did you like that?
Tell me how I looked in my uniform that day. That kind of stuff.
Man, your hair looks great today.
It's amazing. Your skin in this light, fantastic. That would be a nice way to go about it. I was probably listening 10% of the time. That was my problem. Looking right through that guy, thinking about whatever nonsense I was thinking about on that runaway train that I couldn't stop.
This one down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. Karam's off the corner. Guzman heads to third. He'll be in there. And Chirinos took a big turn, but he'll hold it first. And so the Rangers have him on the corners.
Interesting decision there from Chirinos. I thought this was a sure double, but the way the ball bounced off the wall, I gotta believe he thought maybe that there was a chance that Kemp was going to come up throwing to second, and he just wasn't comfortable. It's a really sharp bounce right to him. Almost seemed like it picked up velocity off the wall. And you see Kemp, he actually was looking at second base as he picked up that ball. Now, whether or not that was intentional, it's a pretty smart play. But as he got to the ball and picked it up, he was looking at second the entire way. And that tells Robinson Chirinos, heads up, I'm coming this way. And then at the last second, he threw the ball to third.
So Willie Calhoun, chance here with a base hit to tie the game. Willie struck out in the third inning. He's still sort of getting comfortable up here. Called up right after the All-Star break. Been up a week and change now.
He's got that line drive swing. He was shifted pretty heavily in the minor leagues. You'd love to see him get a pitch maybe up that he could handle. You should see McCullers going downstairs with the breaking ball. And that's part of your process as well. As obviously not a lot of information on Willie Calhoun, but you look at the swing. They've seen him throughout the series. And based on swing path, a lot of times that'll tell you how you attack a guy.
0-2. And that's in the dirt. Maldonado smothers it.
And I say that about Willie because I believe that he can handle the pitch up pretty well based on his swing path. Now, good velocity or up above the zone, still really tough to get to. Think about a guy like Adrian and Elvis, guys that are good on balls that are up, fastballs that are up, and for McCullers, that means probably more breaking balls down.
In the dirt. And again, Maldonado able to keep it close. 2-2. Calhoun, acquired by the Rangers in the trade last year, it sent Yu Darvish to the Dodgers. Calhoun back, 23 years old, and very much a hit first guy. 2-2 pitch, and he'll foul it away. We were impressed with his bat last fall when we saw him, or at the end of the summer last year. Spent the first half of the season at AAA. This year hit better than 300 with Round Rock. Spray it all over. Right now it's just a base hit somewhere in the outfield. Should get Guzman home and maybe get Chirinos over to third. In a 1-0 game. You don't know how many opportunities you'll get against McCullers today. 7 strikeouts already. There it comes. And a swing and a miss. So Calhoun strikes out. 2 gone.
So that's twice now that Lance McCullers Jr. has finished Willie Calhoun with fastballs away. Now this one was unintentional. They were trying to go in. In his last at bat, it was 95 miles an hour off the plate. This one is 97 more on the plate, but still outer third.
Need to correct myself. 9 strikeouts now for McCullers. Guzman strikeout earlier in the inning. One I overlooked. But it has been a 20-pitch inning for McCullers. First 20-pitch inning by either pitcher. So having to invest quite a bit in this 5th. Delino DeShields showing bunt, but did not go. They appealed that to Sean Barber down at first, and Barber said no, he pulled back. 1-0.
A.J. Hinch would like them to reconsider, but there's nothing you can do about that. You saw Delino start to push forward, but he did pull it back. It was pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Maybe a little break there for Delino. It's a strike, 1-1. So Guzman got on the strikeout wild pitch. And then he scrambled to third base on the Chirinos single. Robbie over at first. Rangers really want to cash in here against McCullers. Another sellout crowd. We had better than 42,500 on Friday. Over 43,000 here yesterday. Standing room only again today. And a good mix of fans. A lot of Rangers fans have been in attendance. This ball hit hard by third. That's a base hit. So Guzman will score. The game is tied. Chirinos into third base. They're going to wave him to the plate. No throw offered. The ball lost down there in the corner apparently. Lodged under the padding, and that might cost the Rangers a run.
I'll tell you what, though, you got to keep running if you're Delino DeShields. And it does look like it's lodged there, but barely. And then the umpire has a decision to make on whether or not. Yeah, it's stuck in there enough.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. I thought if it was just sitting there, whether or not they would have made that call. That's a good one. Good call, not a good toss.
David Rackley, third base umpire.
I believe Robinson Trinos will have to go back to third, and he does. Good job by Delino DeShields to get to that ball in. Watch it right here. Ah, what a bad break. Yep, good job there by Kemp. Once you realize it's stuck, if you sit there and try to get it out, the runners can keep running, and so you got to put your hands up. It was good reaction by him. And you wonder and go back to that play. So when Kemp made the move that kept Robinson Trinos from going to second base, remember on that base hit, he was looking at second base the entire time, and that caused Robbie to pull up. It was a good play by Kemp, and he threw the ball to third. Had Robbie known that, I think he would have got to second base pretty easily. At least as of now, it cost the Rangers a run.
Chu takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. 0-2. Chu's had a little trouble today with McCullers. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. One for 10 in the series. And he'll serve that one foul. Boy, right now, a 2-minute scoring position. You have the guy up there who you would want. Chu, a guy who can fight off pitches until he gets something to drive, but also a guy who is content just to find the open space and use it. And right now, a base hit would give the Rangers a lead. Chirinos third, DeShields at second. Stays 0-2.
So with McCullers throwing out of the windup, it does give Robinson Trinos an opportunity to take a pretty good lead. I mean, there's a shift on anyway, so J.D. Davis is kind of playing in the hole at short. See him over there. But with McCullers out of the windup, as soon as he takes that step back, Robbie can go as far as he wants. You can't throw over to third base at that time, and we know that McCullers Jr. throws that breaking ball in the dirt quite a bit. Mentioned 12 wild pitches for him. The Rangers got to run this inning because of the wild pitch that allowed Ronald Guzman to reach. So that's something to keep an eye on here, is Robbie can be pretty aggressive with that lead and keep an eye on the breaking ball that is down.
The 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. He gets Chu for a third time this afternoon. The Rangers leave Chu in scoring position. But they tie the game on the double by Delino DeShields. We're halfway there this afternoon. All square at 1.
himself a very nice afternoon up to this point. The strikeouts that he has been racking up using the fastball, the breaking ball down and in. The changeup is very good. There's a painted fastball down and away. There's a fastball elevated to Bregman. A changeup that sailed up and away, but he was able to get the swing and miss. And Mike Minor, those punch outs, 7 now on the day. To no walks, too, which is good to see from Mike Minor. And 4 of those strikeouts have come on the fastball, 2 on the changeup, and 1 on the breaking ball.
A season high 9 strikeouts at Chicago in late May. And he gets Reddick to lift this one high in the air, back of second base. Odor going out, but it's Gallo coming in. And there is one away.
Well, let's take a look at the Tyler White home run and put some StatCast data on it. StatCast AI, which is powered by AWS. And we saw a changeup from Mike Minor that was hit at 104 miles an hour, just 348 feet. It was right down the line for White, who was just recalled from AAA to replace Jose Altuve, who went on the DL. Where is AAA these days? Fresno? Where are they?
Fresno, yeah.
That seems convenient. I never get that. I mean, I understand why it happens. Some people say, why don't you just, start your franchise here? Because all those cities and all those franchises have contracts to be AAA teams, and we see a lot of shuffling over the last decade or so. And sometimes you're just stuck with the last team that's available. There's nothing you can do about it. The Mets, as an example, in Las Vegas, and that could be a problem. You have a situation where maybe somebody gets hurt at a night game, you got a day game the next day. We've had a long game and you need to get an extra pitcher up. The Rangers have is certainly pretty convenient.
It used to be that Fresno was the Giants. Made all the sense in the world. Sacramento was Oakland. Very logical.
Part of it too, it's interesting with minor league teams, because you think about, as a minor league fan, if you enjoy going to minor league games, it's usually about the family experience. That's what so many of these minor league franchises do so well. But some of the ownership groups at the minor league level concern themselves with winning.
White with his second hit of the game. He has both of the Astros hit as he rolls that one up the middle. All right, time for a Chevy game break. We check in again with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. Here we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 ball game, and now the 7th place hitter, J.D. Davis. And he lofts his first pitch high in the air down the right field line. Long run for Gallo, might have room, and he does have room. Almost overran that. Great athletic play to reach back and get it for the second out of the inning.
That was a tremendous play for Joey Gallo, who has not played very much right field. This is new to him, and so the angles are new. The way the ball comes in off of both left-handed and right-handed bats is going to be different, and this one comes off the bat of a righty. And this one came back a little bit. First of all, a very long run for Joey Gallo. But, we talked about the Rangers and how the infielders love to show off their vertical. Well, Joey Gallo wanted in on it a little bit as he had to jump for that ball as he came back. And Mike Minor certainly happy that that turned into an out, as adventurous as it may have been.
So a 2 gone. Here is Maldonado.
But you know what I'm talking about. You've done minor league baseball,
yeah.
And there are certain ownership groups at times where if they don't feel like they're getting the players that they want from the big league team, or it seems silly to me. I've never quite understood that. You think they're not going to try to hold back, but if you don't put a winning ball club together, I've never felt like that's affected attendance that much. Do you think winning at the minor league level affects how often people actually go? I mean, it matters in the big leagues, but what about in the minor leagues? I don't think it does.
Not very much, no.
Yeah, if you're, it's about, it's very affordable. It's fun for your family. The food is, is affordable. The bathrooms are clean. It's family-friendly entertainment. So I've always found it strange. And remember, I was actually playing in Buffalo the last year the Mets had their team there, and that was part of what was going on with the negotiations. I was saying they were upset that the team wasn't competitive, and they lost out on the Mets.
Swing and a miss, and Maldonado goes down quickly again. 11 pitches needed by Minor in the 5th inning. So through 5, Rangers and Astros tied at 1. Presented by Shiner Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. I don't know where those folks are sitting, but they're enjoying an interesting view. There are a couple of...
Is that from the ballpark, you think? Somewhere?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. There are a number of tall office buildings around here where you do get a nice view in if the roof is open.
So, Dave Raymond?
Go ahead.
You're apparently incorrect. That was from the ballpark.
How do you know?
I've just been told by my sources. It's deadline time. Everyone's got sources. My sources tell me that that view was from the ballpark. And yep, this just in. Unreliable source. He's actually incorrect, and that source has corrected himself. Yeah. So you are right. So go ahead and get that number out of my phone. Don't need that one anymore.
There's Odor, and he rips the first pitch down into the right field corner. Rangers getting better hacks right now on McCullers. And Odor heads to second base. He's in with a leadoff double. 5 hits yesterday. Smoking hot bat right now, and that ball shillelied into the corner.
Take a look at the pitch here from McCullers, and trying to go in on Odor and misses out over the plate. And the way he's swinging the bat right now is something you cannot afford to do to Rougned Odor. He'll make you pay, and he does here against Lance McCullers Jr. and the Rangers in the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Oh, Rougie out there at second. Profar had a hit back of the 4th inning. That was the first base runner that the Rangers had today against McCullers. And he takes low and in for a ball. 1-1 ball game. Jerkson retired on a comebacker in the 1st inning. His single went back up the middle. I mean, a little to the right of center field. It seems like he's had a pretty good read on McCullers here early on. 1-1.
So the Rangers are in that part of their order now. 3rd time through. Lance McCullers Jr. has struggled a little bit. He's dominant 1st time through the order. Very good 2nd time through. 3rd time through, though, not surprising. That's been the opportunity for opposing lineups. .274 batting average against McCullers. See if the Rangers can cash it in.
Shift on the infield for Profar, and he shows bunt, drops it out in front of the plate. Maldonado grabs, throws to 3rd, and it gets away. So everybody's safe.
It was
not a great bunt.
Not a great bunt, but a really aggressive throw by Maldonado, because even though the bunt wasn't a great one, I'm not sure how much of a play he would have had. It would have taken a great throw. Odor took off right away. The high bounce helped a little bit. Watch this throw. I mean, even if it's on line, yeah, I probably would have had him. The other part of that was where J.D. Davis was trying to receive that throw. He almost seemed surprised that Maldonado threw it. He was not in the right position to catch that, which made it worse. It made it look worse. You see how he's coming in and trying to get back in time and didn't get all the way back to the bag. So even if he caught that right, he was going to have to come back to tag Rougned Odor.
Oh, and calling it a foul ball?
Oh, no!
Oh, that. It was a great opportunity and a very good breakdown, I must say, on your part.
All for naught.
But it was a strike.
Well,
wow, that's a bummer.
Let's
see here. Fix my scorebook. Well, ball and 2 strikes. And a comebacker, and that one goes off McCullers and out into left field. It works out better. Odor will score. Heading to second base is Profar. Nobody home, and he's in there safely. It looks like he took a shoe to the head.
And there's some, I think there may be some blood involved. We'll see. Might have caught him right on the cheek, and could have been the knee of Gurriel. Not quite sure.
Gutsy
no
base running.
There. Yeah. Well, it was a smart heads-up play by Jurickson Profar, because once he took his turn with the shift and the way things were working, there was nobody at second base. You mentioned Gurriel's only played 7 innings at second base. That was last year, even though that was a position that he played in Cuba. Not a lot of experience since he's been over here in the big leagues, and so that could have been part of it as well. As Jurickson Profar was a little worked up. I say worked up, but oh, right there was after the fact.
Yeah, you can see some damage on that left cheek. I think his face went hard into the dirt as well. Let's take another look.
So you're going to see the pitch. First of all, great at bat here. The ball's away. He hits it hard back up the middle and off of Lance McCullers Jr. Nobody's got a chance to get it, but just such great heads up on the base running. Rudy looks back, sees that it's through. He scores easily. You're going to see Profar come in here and slide. Everything was fine there. It was at the very end. Watch this right here. Everything's okay. And then the spike is going to come around and catch Jurickson right under his eye. And thankfully it was under his eye and not on his eye. That certainly hurt. He'll come out of this game. And understandably so. Wow. Complete accident.
Yep.
Without a doubt. And what happens with those plays sometimes, guys get out of position realizing, wait, that's my responsibility to cover the bag. And I think that's what we saw with Gurriel, who again has not played very much second base. The other part of it, it seemed like the Astros were out checking on Lance McCullers Jr. I think that ball hit him in the leg, and their trainer was also out. McCullers is now taking a couple of extra warm-ups.
That was the third at bat that Profar had against McCullers. I pointed out that the first 2 went back up the middle. That one right back up the middle. He really had a great read on McCullers today. We'll see. They may be trying to doctor him up to see if they can get him back out. And Gurriel looked a little upset after the play, and obviously, you pointed out, very much an accident. He was not comfortable with the way that one played out.
So you have a couple of options here. If you're Jeff Bannister, I think likely what we would see was just Elvis Andrews would come in and likely play short if Jurickson Profar is coming out. It does seem like they're spending some time on him, and maybe that's not an automatic decision. We'll see.
Look at that. That's some quick work right there. And here he comes.
The large Band-Aid on Jurickson Profar. But good for him as he took a shot. Steve Buechele having a little bit of fun with it and probably making fun of the Band-Aid. And not surprisingly, Jurickson Profar has found a way to smile through all this.
Exactly.
Gurriel feels terrible. You know he does. That's got to be distracting to play with, though.
I would think.
Man, he took a pretty good hit to the cheek. Everybody's making fun of this Band-Aid, apparently. Even the second base umpires seem to have something to say about it.
Oh, that's awesome right there, though. So Profar stays in after the RBI double. Rangers with the lead 2-1. And here's Joey Gallo. And a backdoor breaking ball finds its way in for a strike.
Well, put yourself in Jurickson Profar's shoes, right? You take a spike to the cheek, that certainly hurts, but he's locked in right now. He's got a couple of really good at-bats, and he's probably thinking or saying, I think I'm coming out of this game right now? No chance.
Gallo 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Colors has definitely had his numbers so far here today. In fact, 0 for 10 in his career against McCullers. Down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
This pitch count where we are now with McCullers, it's 84. This has been a range that has not been very good for him. 76 to 90. That's pitches 76 through 90 this year. A 288 batting average against. The OPS is 770. It's been a tough spot for him so far this season, and you can see him wearing down a little bit. The Rangers have made some very good contact against him this inning.
Here's the 0-2. That one misses. A part of what we have seen from Joey Gallo lately that has been so encouraging is that ability to work the count a little bit, get on base a little more consistently. He's walked in 7 straight games, and he takes very high here. 2-2.
A little bit of an overthrow there from McCullers, and be some action in the Astros bullpen right now, and understandably so, as McCullers looks to be tiring a little bit here in the 6th inning.
Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. Gallo strikes out swinging. 1 away. That brings up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Well, a lot of Rangers fans have made this trip. We've commented. I mean, they've had a lot more to cheer about in this series, but they've made some noise here. I want to wish a happy birthday to Kathy Dumansky. She and her husband Glenn here celebrating her 59th birthday, coming all the way down from Richardson.
That wasn't them, by the way.
It was not. Good point.
Unless we just got incredibly lucky by guessing.
First pitch in there for a strike to Kiner-Falefa. I don't know what exactly you would say he's celebrating here. Just a lot of success. 6 hits in the first 2 games, including a homer in each. Rolled out twice so far today against McCullers, though. 0-2.
2 really tough pitches. A breaking ball that was front door kind of accidentally and caught the down and in quarter, and then that fastball right at the knees. At 95. Watch this pitch. When you're talking about pitching on the edges and doing it with live stuff, it's one thing when you don't have an overpowering arm. It's another when you have the kind of arm that McCullers Jr. has and you're painting.
This one in the dirt.
Wow,
Profar going for third, and he is in there.
What a read by Jurickson Profar. 0 hesitation, and you have to be on your toes with Lance McCullers Jr. It's another wild pitch for him. 13 on the season. Certainly the Rangers are aware of that, but look at the good secondary, and as soon as it was down, he was gone. Tremendous job by Profar. That's big right now because you have less than 2 outs, and so the idea of either a sac fly or another wild pitch, whatever it may be.
How about leading with your face too?
And it also draws the infield in. Kiner-Falefa's a good contact hitter.
So now the 1-2. And a bouncer, second base, and it gets by Gurriel. So Profar scores. Kiner-Falefa drives in the run, and it's 3-1 Rangers.
The base running of Jurickson Profar this inning was fantastic, and it made that run happen. Everything that he did, taking the extra base on his hit, taking third base on the wild pitch, That forced the infield in. You got the contact hitter and kind of Falefa up. Gives him, with 2 strikes, the opportunity to do this. He's so good at putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. A much tougher play. As you see, Gurriel just flat out missing that. Did they give him an error on that?
They did.
Yeah. It's a great job, though, by the Rangers. Lance McCullers Jr., good pitcher, good stuff. Put a lot of pressure on him this inning.
What a job by Profar this inning. Really creating that second run. Here's Guzman, and first to throw over to check in on Kiner Falefa. So Lance McCullers Jr., he was awfully sharp in those first 4 innings, allowing just 1 hit, piling up the strikeouts. The Rangers have scored 3 runs the last inning and a third. And Guzman whacks this one to center field. Springer on the run, over his head and against the fence. That one rolls back toward the infield. Kiner Falefa scores, and it's 4-1 Rangers. Guzman with the RBI double, and the Rangers keep rolling.
This has been a lot of fun to watch here with these young Rangers doing damage against the Astros this whole weekend. Pretty good pitch, located down and away, good velocity. But Guzman does such a great job of covering the entire field. He's not a dead pull guy. This is where the idea of tailoring your swing to cover all fields really comes into play, and to be able to do it with some power. It's a great job by Guzman in a big spot to knock McCullers Jr. out of the game.
So McCullers gone. Joe Smith coming on for the Astros for the Rangers, up by 3. On here in the 6th inning. Our who's in, who's out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Joe Smith, the man who's in, and Lance McCullers Jr., the man who is out. Just 1 out recorded in this 6th inning.
There's the numbers for Smith. Look at that whip. That is under 1. Good strikeout to walk ratio for the Submariner. He's been very good against lefties. 161 batting average against lefties, 221 against righties, and with inherited runners he's been very good. Just 2 of 13 have scored as he inherits Ronald Guzman at second base. And that trend for Lance McCullers Jr., where he was with his pitch count, where he was 3rd time through the order, both of those rang true here for the Rangers in the 6th inning.
1-1 on Chirinos.
And that could be, the area in which you say, okay, well, a lot of breaking balls, right? It's untraditional. It used to be establish a fastball and then go from there. But you could see why potentially he would have a harder time being effective deep in the game. You come out throwing all those breaking balls, and at some point either the rotation, the spin rate's going to slow down. It's just so difficult to throw that many and throw them well, or the hitters are just going to get on it after they see it enough times. Even though it's a power arm, you do concern yourself with how many times you can see hitters in a game.
especially when you say as much as he relies on that one pitch. So Smith on in relief. Guzman at second, 3 runs across, and for McCullers, you know, he was hoping for a bounce back. Mentioned that he had struggled a lot recently. After he had that tough outing against Oakland on July 11th, he shaved his beard. He's like, all right, I got to mix it up. It always seems to be the go-to, right? Do something with the facial hair. He shaved that beard off. It's recently has allowed it to grow back.
Well,
might be time to lose it again.
We will see. We'll take a look. I mean, that's now 3 starts for him where he has gone 13 2/3 and has allowed at least 15 earned runs. We'll see if Guzman comes around to score. But he did have 11 strikeouts to no walks.
Yeah, I would say, you know, looking back at the last couple of starts, it had not gone well for him. One of the big things that stood out were all the walks. I think 5 in each of the games, last 2 games for him. So at least he was better in that regard. But boy, the Rangers have really handled this Astros starting staff well in this series. Spinner up there, and that frisbee falls in for a strike. Chirinos down looking. Got the Verlander yesterday. He could only go 5 innings. Took Dallas Keuchel in the opener on Friday. And eventually they waited around and got to McCullers.
If the Rangers could hang on, I wonder how many times this year. I don't think the Astros had 1 3-game losing streak this year. Obviously, so that means it probably hasn't happened where these 3 guys have lost
consecutively.
Yeah, I'd say highly unlikely.
So I was down there earlier today, and we wrapped up the manager sessions with Hinch anyway. I wished him well, said goodbye for the season. He said, well, wait a minute, that's right. We don't play anymore this year. I said, right. I said, well, I can't let you guys sweep us the last time you see us. I'm going to go yell at my team. And that's how we wrapped it up today. And this one fouled away. Well,
and that's proving yelling doesn't work.
Well, he definitely is not a yeller.
Can't even imagine him yelling at his club. It wouldn't feel right. It's not in the personality of A.J. Hinch. And it's really not part of managing in 2018 anymore. Those days of coming in and screaming at your team or flipping the spread table over. Right. Major league, it's over. Doesn't happen anymore. Or if it does, you're probably not going to have a job.
How many times did you see somebody flip the spread in the clubhouse?
I don't know if it was flipping the spread. More players throw stuff in the clubhouse when they're real angry.
1-2 on Willie Calhoun.
Minor leagues a couple times. Some managers, August in the minor leagues is it's a special time. Especially if it's not going well, especially if you're playing down south. Some long bus rides late in the year. It's hot.
Vince Calhoun back 2-2. Willie 0 for 2 today with a couple of strikeouts. 3 runs in here in the 6th inning. And it has been a long half inning.
Mentioned Joe Smith tough on lefties. I got to imagine for really happy to see McCullers out of the game. Struck out on 95 and 97 mile-an-hour fastballs.
Stays alive 2-2. Guzman out at second base. Smith with a fairly long look in. Now they get the signs. And this ball went foul. Calhoun, in 2 for 4 yesterday. It was his first multiple hit effort this season. So far, the big guy this inning. Looks like he got a new
there you go.
Band-Aid arrangement.
Double up. Those two small circles, or is that the butterfly? What did that working? Yeah. I got to be honest. I mean, that's call it a day. Spike to the cheek. Probably out.
Oh, I would think.
He's out there laughing and having a good time and running the base as well.
Well, this will be the 30th pitch of the inning. And a swing and a miss. They get Calhoun. So Smith comes on, strikes out both men. He faces and puts an end to the Rangers' rally. But jerks him Profar. How about it? A double to get the first run home and break the tie. He took the hit, but he stayed in the ball game. Then Profar with his feet making it happen. Took third, scored later on the Kiner-Falefa error. Rangers up by 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mike Minor has been sharp. Tony Kemp, the first man he'll deal with here in the 6th inning. It's been a long wait on the bench for Minor. We'll see how he responds. Kemp lines it right back up the box. Wow. I'm not sure how that missed Minor. Tony Kemp is on with the 3rd Astros hit today.
Take a look at the pitch here from Mike Minor. Fastball down, but over the middle of the plate. And Kemp with the good. I mentioned it earlier about him, and not going to play him to pull necessarily. You see Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was way in, protecting against the bunt. And that's the right approach for a guy like Kemp against a lefty like Minor.
Lead man on for Houston. And now Springer, he hits this ball hard down the left field line, and that one will go off the facing of the Crawford boxes. Kemp into 3rd. They'll stop him there. It's a double for Springer. The good news is it stayed in the yard.
They come out swinging here. That fastball is pretty well located in, but George Springer's got the big swing, and like he was sitting on that heater. Thought he might have had a chance to get it at first, but a little bit too much topspin to keep this ball in the yard. And a good job by Willie Calhoun to understand that was going to take a big bounce backwards, and it did.
So it gets interesting now. Bregman is struck out both times in. he takes strike one. Bregman 1 for 8 in the series. He's reached base safely in 29 consecutive games, longest active streak in baseball. Well short of the 52 straight Chu recently put up. And there's another strike. The count 0-2.
Good job by Mike Minor. It has been a very good afternoon against Alex Bregman for the lefty, and Bregman's been very good against lefties. Came into this game hitting .307. He's a guy that doesn't chase out of the zone very often. Mike Minor was able to get him to swing at a fastball that was up, probably just out of the zone in his last at bat.
1-2.
Just missed, but boy, that was a good pitch. And that's one of those pitches that you wonder, would that have gotten called, say, if it was 2-2 as opposed to 0-2? And man, Mike Minor wanted that one. You're not going to put it in a much better spot than that.
This one a little bit further in, 2-2 the count.
Like that pitch. A lot of times after you go fastball in against the righty, the lefty is thinking changeup away. It's a very common pattern, but Mike Minor actually goes back in this time with the slider. And had he gotten that over the plate just a little bit more, not even a strike, but just a little bit more, I think you would have seen Alex Bregman swing at that and probably induce some pretty weak contact.
Bregman hits this one high in the air out to left field. Calhoun feels like he's got room. He does. He'll make the catch. Kemp tags. He'll score. A sac fly by Bregman, and it's a 2-run game. That gets the fans here into it a little bit. And nice, I suppose, for the Astros that they scored a run there. But really, when you see a ball in the air to left field like that, your immediate concern is that very short left field, and it at least stayed in the yard.
And the fact that that even potentially had the thought that we even had it, which we did, and understandably so. I mean, that ball was in on Alex Bregman, but it is just not very far to those Crawford boxes.
Gurriel now, and he takes strike one. Gurriel's lined out and struck out today. One and one. All right, our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Alex Claudio has been loosening up down there in case Jeff Bannister wants him to enter in this 6th inning. Minor's been superb. Still the 3rd time through the order. Pitch to Gurriel. Fouled it back.
And that changeup up in the zone has been actually successful against Gurriel. Not a traditional spot in which you would throw it. You saw the foul ball there. We saw Gurriel swing and miss at a changeup in his last at bat. That's how he struck out one that was elevated. Maybe not intentional by Mike Minor, but certainly one that was effective.
Springer at second base. 1-2. Up and away.
See how hard Robinson Trinos is working to get Mike Minor down in the zone. After he made the call, he took his glove, he tapped the dirt, but he actually left it there. Sometimes you get your catcher to kind of tap and just want you thinking down low. He left his glove on the ground right up until the point until Mike Minor actually threw that pitch, because he knows down and away is a good spot to get Gurriel.
This one popped up. First base side, Guzman is there. 2 away. A harmless out.
Nice job by Mike Minor. See the pitch count by inning. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just that 118 pitch inning. So really good job by him so far. 85 pitches through 5 2/3. Mike Minor this season has been averaging exactly 17 pitches per inning. So he's been better than that so far this afternoon, as the intentional walk to Evan Gattis happens here. And that'll bring Doug Brocail out to talk to Mike Minor about how they want to handle Josh Reddick. But what a difference. I mentioned it earlier. No Carlos Correa, no Jose Altuve, right? So Alex Bregman gets thrown into that bigger spot. He's really the guy that you're dependent on, and he ends up flying out and getting that sac fly. But the idea that he's the biggest challenge, and you don't have to deal with Altuve, and you don't have to deal with Correa. And it just, again, reinforces, not that people didn't know this, but just what a huge difference those guys make in this lineup.
You know, another way you can frame that too, I think, is sometimes you take a team that's maybe close, right? A team that looks like they have some guys who can help. What a difference the addition of one or two players of that kind of skill level can make. You're right, it has been very obvious in this series. So 2 men on for Josh Reddick. He's 0 for 2, and he takes strike 1.
It's kind of an exciting game going on in Atlanta right now. I want you to stay here and watch this one. But Sean Newcomb has got a no-hitter through 8 against the Dodgers. But he does have 117 pitches.
Reddick pops this one up down the left field line. That one will end up with the fans. It's been a few days since we'd had a no-hit alert.
So does he go back out? And what's interesting about that is he's pitching against Ross Stripling, who started for the Dodgers today. Ross Stripling, of course, what, 7 2/3? Was it perfect game I think he had?
Yeah, I think it was.
And they took him out because of pitch count.
I mean, I don't know. Sure would like to see him go.
I say no. 117. Team that's chasing a spot in the postseason, probably not.
Well, Minor still under 90 pitches today. He's 1 strike away from getting through the 6th inning. And this is outside 1 and 2. Springer at second, Gaddis at first for Houston. They represent the tying runs. Sold out Minute Maid Park. Can't get him to chase that one either.
And Reddick help out a little bit on that one. Pinball machine. Watch Robinson Trinos go down and get this ball. Look, they went into the batter's box. You're not sure what bounce you're going to get, and then off Trinos and off Josh Reddick.
So 2 and 2 now. Miners had the strikeout working for the better part of the afternoon. His pitch on the way. Reddick serves it out to left field. Calhoun makes the catch. So the inning is done. Minor gets to the 6th inning, allows the 1 run, but works around a couple more base runners. They has the Rangers up by 2 as we head to the 7th inning. lines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner's Sea Salt and Lime Summer Lager. What a ball game. Rangers lead 4-2. As we move it on to the 7th inning, Mike Minor has done a fantastic job again tonight. Just another Rangers starter who has handled this Astros lineup very well. Meanwhile, the Astros side, they send out a new pitcher, Colin McHugh, the right-hander. It's the third pitcher of the day for Houston.
He's having a really nice year out of the bullpen. 35 games with a 1.09 ERA and a better than 6-1 strikeout to walk ratio. It's been a very interesting conversion to the bullpen for Colin McHugh.
He is coming off his first loss of the year. Wednesday in Colorado, gave up the walk-off home run to Charlie Blackmon and spins this one up there for a strike. It's 0-2.
He had a couple of relief appearances early in his career with the New York Mets, but once he got here to Houston in 2014, all he has done is start until this season. And he's always been a pretty good, and I'd say even better than serviceable starter. But when you have a rotation that includes the 5 that the Astros have thrown out there, and they have not needed a 6th starter. They've only used 5 starters the entire year. It is almost August 1st. That is incredible. And you would think Colin McHugh might be the guy, but at this point he's actually become a very effective reliever. Which makes you wonder kind of what his future would be here. Maybe a 5+ player at the end of the year. Definitely brings value in the bullpen, but you wonder about, is there a team that would like to have him as a starter? And is there some value potentially in moving a guy like McHugh?
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Delino DeShields. One away here in the 7th inning. Now looking ahead, August 8th, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Day. So Rangers and Mariners, a 105 game. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. A little better than a week away. One out, top of the order now for Chu. Swings and misses. A pitch up in the zone. Strike one.
You know, as much as we see this with starters when they go into the bullpen, you say, oh, maybe a little bump in velocity and they'll be a little bit better. McHugh has seen his strikeout rate go up by better than 3 per 9 than what he did as a starter over his career. Velocity hasn't necessarily jumped a ton, but it's been pretty amazing to watch, and quietly the year that he has had. Because when we talk about the Astros bullpen, we talk about Ken Giles, who has since been sent down, and Bensky and Harris and Rondon. It's a pretty deep bullpen. Very sneakily and quietly, Colin McHugh has put together a big year out of that Astros pen.
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, when you talk about their pen, and a lot of it is a lot of the conversation surrounding Ken Giles' situation and how Rondon would fit into that scene, and then of course the acquisition of Ryan Presley, Chris Davinsky, who can get hot and who has struggled a little bit. 2-2. But McHugh, when you take all American League relievers, I mean, he is the second best ERA at 1.09. He leads all American League relievers in WHIP, an opponent's on base percentage, second in batting average against. I mean, he's all of his numbers, the regular ones, the peripheral numbers, indicate that he is one of the best relievers in the league.
All the way to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Back there, Rondon trying to tell you exactly where, how high. You take a guy who had a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is very good, and all of a sudden it doubles to 6. Because he's always been a strike thrower. He's always had a really good walk rate. Once he got into the rotation here in Houston, it was 2.3, 2.4, 2.6, all really great numbers, well above league average, which is about 3.4 walks per 9. You throw him in the pen and it gets down to 1.8. And the strikeouts go up and the walks go down. But it's not a power arm, right? I mean, that's the one thing. He's always had good breaking ball, good curveball, good slider. Easy conversion, though, it's been so far for McHugh.
Chu doing battle with him here. Keeps the count at 3-2. So you offer that little caveat, right, that it's not a power arm, because that, I mean, that really is the direction everybody goes, and it's all about having those big blazing fastballs in your bullpen. 3-2 pitch, swung on a miss, and that's a real rarity today. Chu with 4 strikeouts in the game. You just don't see that. 2 away. All right, we'll take a moment here to hear from our friends at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Okay, 2 gone. And here comes Rougned Odor. I mean, we've seen the success of Alex Claudio. Last year was so impressive. You see what McHugh has done, and they're different arms, to be sure. But I mean, there's got to be some value in non-power arms in the bullpen, too.
No doubt. And the idea of also a different look. That's why you see the sidearmers, Joe Smith, Alex Claudio, why they're so desirable to have in the bullpen. You want everybody looking the same. Yeah, a guy throwing 97 is great. There's a lot of value in it, but if you got a bunch of guys that are 95 to 98, you don't have a variety of looks. Colin McHugh certainly offers that.
Well, Odor had a big double last inning that kick-started the 3-run rally. 1 for 3 in today's game. A 5-hit game yesterday. And he hits this ball in the air out to right field, but hanging up a little bit. Reddick is right there, and it ends the inning. Stretch time here. They will stand for God Bless America. And we turn it over to the great PA voice, Bob Ford.
It's our Sunday afternoon tradition here at Minute Maid Park. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask that you please rise and join us as we pause not only to honor our great nation, but to salute and thank those who defend our freedom around the world every day. Please join Miss K.D. Smith for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
game here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Minor is done. Alex Claudio has come on now. White leading it off for the Astros. Fouls away, strike one.
See the pitch arsenal for Alex Claudio this year. The fastball, changeup, slider mix for him, and with Alex really the key to his game, keeping the ball on the ground. 62% ground ball rate for him. Also an excellent 1.6 walk per 9 rate. So he's throwing strikes, he's getting ground balls, and he's doing it. That mix of changeups and two-seam fastballs. Lefty's hitting just 207 against the Rangers left-hander.
Bill White might be disappointed if Minor is out of the game. He's the one guy who really seemed to have a feel for Minor today. Instead, he'll be the first to get a look at Alex Claudio. He swings it in there, but a little off the outside corner. 1-2. Minor threw 90 pitches today, 55 of which ended up being strikes. Oh, just a little bit wide. So 2-2 for Tyler White. Hard ground ball. Boy, that one threw into left field. So forget it. It doesn't really matter right now. Tyler White seeing everything pretty well. Base hit to start the bottom of the 7th inning.
We'll take a look at this pitch here from Alex Claudio, and outer third. He's trying to get on the corner a little bit more, but still a ground ball, even though it was hard hit. For Alex, he needs that trend to continue. An opportunity maybe here to get himself a double play.
J.D. Davis swings and lifts this one high in the air. Out to center field. The Shields ranging back. Does he have room? He does. That one in on the glove. It stays in the ballpark. White goes to third. They'll stop him. Had it momentarily. Lost it. But fortunately, it stays in the yard. No runs in yet.
You almost see some frustration there on the face of Delino DeShields, but this would have been an incredible play, and that's the expectations that Delino DeShields has for himself. But watch this ball, it's deep. You're going to see Delino get to the wall, time it right, leap, and he had it in his glove, but I think the wall probably forced it out. A bit of a closer look here. He did have it. Yeah, I think when his glove hit the wall, that is when the ball came out, and you see White sitting there at second base and could not score and couldn't go any further. I understand that Delino is frustrated, but that would have been a tremendous play.
I think just kept carrying, and now Maldonado has had a tough day at the plate. Hits this ball high in the air, but out to short left. Calhoun is there. His sort of the plate will be offline, a little bit high, but it doesn't matter. White does not have good speed and has to hold third. Combination of factors working to the Rangers' advantage right there.
Take a look here as Alex Claudio. There's that pitch on the outer third. Sounded like it came off the end of the bat for Maldonado. And so he didn't hit it very hard, and Calhoun does a nice job getting behind this ball and throwing all the way through.
Well, Tony Kemp now 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 6th inning. Kiner Falefa up close at third base. And Guzman playing even with a bag at first, so they're at least respectful of the fact that Kemp might try to drop a bunt in here.
You got the middle back. They're preventing against the ground ball, and they're going to concede the run to be able to get the one out if they can on any ground ball that's hit up the middle.
1-1 the count.
And you kind of have to play those odds because you look at a guy like Kemp, he's hit the ball on the ground 48% of the time this year. That's 5% above league average. And then you have Alex Claudio, who does such a great job of getting ground balls. And this is all the information that you put together as you're figuring out what you want to do with your defense. And with the potential tying run at second base, you don't necessarily want to play your infield in and give the Astros that advantage. You want to try to find it out here somewhere, and it's likely coming on the ground with Kemp.
Ground ball right side. Odor's going to come to the plate. The tag! Got him! Well, just when you thought they would concede the run, Odor, reading that White, of course not a great runner, makes a beautiful throw to the plate. 2 away.
That was amazing. It was amazingly aggressive by Rougned Odor, who's playing back. And so for Tyler White, he's probably making an assumption, and Odor comes up and fires an absolute strike to Robinson Chirinos, and White looks stunned. But he was thrown out at home plate. This is an incredible play by Rougned Odor, who just continues to impress on defense.
That is something else. Tony Kemp can't believe it.
Because he's probably thinking the same thing. Not that he wants to ground out, but he knows that if he hits a ground ball between shortstop and second base with the infield back, that it's likely going to be an RBI ground out, at least if the ground ball doesn't get through. And so he hits it. It's, again, not exactly what he wanted to do, but he'll take it, think, okay, it's 4-3 now, and I'll probably be out at first. But instead, it turned into something completely different.
Odor just playing right now in a completely different realm from everybody else. Defensively, offensively. It's like every decision he makes works out. Every effort is the right one. It's amazing.
The easy thing to do there was just take you out of first base. And a lot of second basemen would do that. But Rougned Odor understood how big that run was. His instincts were correct. And then he executed an unbelievable throw.
What a play.
That's playing not scared.
Now a guy you have to respect in this spot, George Springer. 2 men on, 2 out. And he takes one outside. The Astros are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position today. Springer doubled his last time. 1 for 3 in this one. There's J.D. Davis walking off third base. Across the diamond from him, Tony Kemp. In the air, down the right field line, but that one slices foul and out of play. Not only 0 for 4 today, the Astros just 1 hit in this series with a runner in scoring position.
George Springer 1 for 6 in his career against Alex Claudio. You see what the Astros have done, as you mentioned, with runners in scoring position. He has struck out a couple of times against Alex Claudio.
1-1 on the way. It's off the plate.
I gotta believe likely if Springer can find a way to get on, you'll probably make a change. Bregman's very good against lefties, and he's 3 for 4 in his career against Claudio. So for Alex to get through this inning, he's going to have to finish off George Springer.
Check in on Kemp. All right, Corey Guerin getting ready out there, to your point. Claudio waggles to that stop. And a bouncer, third base. Kiner Falefa throws him out, and the inning is done. Another incredible defensive play by Rougned Odor, and it keeps the Astros off the board. We go to the 8th inning. Jerks and Profar will lead things off when we come back.
Jurickson Profar running the bases, but then unfortunately taking a cleat to the face, some blood, some Band-Aids, and he stays in the game. And he still continues to run the bases well. Takes third on a wild pitch and then scores on this ground ball into the legs of Jurickson Profar, making it happen. And a little bit of a sacrifice along the way, but the smile never subsides from Jurickson Profar.
We'll start things here in the 8th inning. McHugh drops in a breaking ball for a strike. Profar, Gallo, Kiner, Falefa. Good day for Jurickson. Tough day at times, but a good day in terms of results. No balls, 2 strikes. Over 40,000 here today. 40,560 the paid attendance. Been a fun weekend. Over 126,000 fans for this 3-game series. Stays 0-2 on Profar. Rangers will continue this road trip after the ball game today, heading off to Arizona. Quick 2 games against the Diamondbacks. Profar swings and misses. That strike 3. So 1 away here in the 8th inning. How about a Wells Fargo look ahead here? Gallo anchoring things for the Rangers when we head to Arizona, and Paul Goldschmidt sort of their answer. You look at the numbers, really similar. Gallo with some better power production so far. Goldschmidt more walks. But Gallo on the upswing.
And quite the turnaround for Paul Goldschmidt. He got off to a really slow start, and that was a big concern in Arizona, but he has since gotten it going. He has to go back to around the middle of May, something I'm sure we'll dig into when we get to Arizona for that 2-game series. They needed their perennial MVP candidate, and he has shown up lately, that is for sure.
July so far has been pretty good for Joey. Getting on base a lot more regularly. Still hitting the ball with great power. 2-1. Jose Leclerc preparing out of the bullpen. The OPS this month for Gallo. It's on base plus slugging, and it's at 875, highest of any month this year for him. The on base average over 350, slugging nearly 530. Oh, full count. Gallo has struck out 3 times today. Mentioned earlier, he's walked in 7 consecutive ball games. See how much McHugh wants to challenge him right here. 4-2 Rangers lead. You wonder why they shift on him to the pull side. And you look out right now to the left side of the infield and outfield, and boy, there is nobody out there. Davis is the closest player to the third baseline, and you can see out in the outfield, Kemp is to the far right of the Crawford boxes. So the 3-2, and that one's off the plate. Gallo's walked in 8 straight games.
First walk for the Rangers in this one, which is good to see. They had a game earlier this season in which they struck out 16 times without a walk against the Astros. Well, it was 16 strikeouts and no walks until that walk to Joey Gallo.
For a little more on Joey Gallo, let's check in with Emily.
Yeah, Joey knows that the walks have to be a big part of his game. He says if he wants to set up the power game, he has to show that he's not going to swing at stuff on a consistent basis outside of the zone. He says, I don't hit singles, so I've got to get on base via the walk. And so obviously that's been working for him of late, and that's a conscious decision that he's making and something he's working on.
Yeah, it's good to see it paying off for Joey, right? I mean, that's something that he certainly can hang his hat on as he takes off.
Ooh, the pitch was high. He stops, heads back to first. Little spin move, but White able to tag him out. That'll go 2 to 4 to 3.
I don't know if that was a miss sign, a straight steal, a hit and run. Let's watch Joey here kind of looking in and realizing he certainly was going to be out by quite a bit. Here he's peeking. And the peeking, you know, always kind of gives you that indicator. And it might have been a hit and run. Did Isaiah swing at that pitch? I was watching Joey the whole time.
He did, yeah.
So that's really unusual. So it's actually a pretty good call when you think about, first of all, the fact that McHugh's throwing the ball well. You got a great contact hitter in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And Joey was probably shocked that there wasn't some contact on that pitch just because Isaiah's been so good putting the ball in play. We haven't seen it a lot lately, but Jeff Bannister does like to use that hit and run.
This one popped up. Foul ground and will end up in the seats. Last time up, they had the infield drawn in thanks to Profar's great hustle. And Kiner-Falefa rolled one to the right side, right to the second baseman, Gurriel. And Gurriel just booted it. Ended up scoring a Rangers run and leading later in the inning to yet another. And there's strike 3 called. So McHugh comes in. He's been pretty effective now. 2 scoreless innings for him. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers lead the Astros by 2. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live with MLB.TV. And your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, which allows you to watch on your favorite supported devices. Just go to MLB.TV to get all the details. Outside Minute Maid Park, people hustling around on this Sunday afternoon. And inside, Rangers with a 2-run lead. And what a spot here. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for Houston. Rangers counter with Jose Leclerc.
Yeah, toughest part of the lineup, and Jose Leclerc has been one of the best Rangers relievers this season. This will be game number 40. Great whip, great strikeout to walk ratio. He's got the 13 holds so far. this season. And with Jose Leclerc, it's all about that repertoire, that great changeup / cut changeup slider that he throws. He's also got really good velocity, and the four-seam fastball's got just a 182 batting average against. He's allowed just one home run this season. It was on the four-seam fastball.
Well, first pitch swinging. Bregman pops it up. Left side of the infield. And handled by Kiner Falefa. 1 out. Boy, that is a great way to start the inning. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, our Ford probables. Martin Perez, last 4 starts against National League West opponents, he's been pretty good. Sub 200 batting average against, the 2.39 ERA. Robbie Ray will have the ball for the Diamondbacks, and in 5 home starts this year, he has an ERA over 8. So that's what we look forward to tomorrow. A little work to get done yet here today, bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers with a 2-run lead and making a couple of defensive changes this inning as well. We'll get you those in a moment. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Carlos Tocci has come in to play right field. And Gallo has swung over to the other side of the diamond. He's now in left. Gurriel hits this one on the ground, shortstop. Profar gathers it up, and he throws out Gurriel 2 away.
Nice play by Jurickson. Profar still dealing with those band-aids. We don't give out like a Warrior award, but if we did, I think he would get it today. This ball was really hard hit. It was an 0-2 count, not where Jose Leclerc wanted it, but Jurickson Profar steps in, makes a really nice play and a strong throw. The outfield alignment, I think this is, I mentioned this last night, this will be interesting to track a little bit. Joey Gallo going over to left. He's got the better arm, so you think, okay, would you want it in right? But there's more room to cover here in Houston in right field, so maybe that's why Jeff Bannister likes putting Tocci in right as opposed to left field. A lot of different factors you have to deal with. Of course, the wall in left field and that weird kind of cutout is kind of a challenge.
This ball hit well, but foul. 1-1. Gaddis going to get a new bat. See the little tap of the barrel there, and then listen to it. You see guys do that every now and then. How much do you suppose he could really make out in this?
Well, he's taking it no matter what, right? You're already making your way up, but you're listening for that kind of ping, the bounce back.
Little chopper up the middle, and Odor is right there, and he throws out Gaddis. Well, that sounded good. The inning is done. A 7-pitch, 8th inning. And now we go to the 9th. Rangers try to add to their lead. Guzman, Chirinos, Tocci coming up.
back to the 6th inning for the Rangers offense. Jurickson Profar hits one off the leg of Lance McCullers Jr. and Rougned Odor scores easily later in the inning. Gurriel makes an error thanks to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and you'll see Profar scoring right there. And then it's Ronald Guzman coming up big, the 3rd double of the inning for the Rangers offense, and that was an inning in which they scored 3 runs, runs number 2, 3, and 4, and that's where we stand right now as they lead the Astros by a score of 4-2. And there's a throwback jersey in the house and enjoying what he's seen so far, not only today but this weekend, as the Rangers will try to hold on for one more inning and sweep these Astros.
Trying to do something no other team has been able to do this year. Last time the Rangers swept the Astros, it was May of 2016. Took all 3 of that 3-game series. And nobody has been able to sweep them this year. Guzman starting the 9th inning. He scored a run, driven in a run. Has a double. Rangers with a run in the 5th. That was to tie the game, and then 3 runs in the 6th to take the lead. So 2-1. Peacock, the 4th pitcher of the day for Houston. Lance McCullers Jr. went 5 1/3. Joe Smith got a couple of outs. Colin McHugh, 2 innings of work in relief. Did a nice job. Meanwhile, once we get to the bottom of the 9th inning, should it stay a close game like this, Keone Kela prepared to come in.
And I wonder if he'll throw regardless of what happens, even if the Rangers add on right here. Kela had that outing where he threw 40 pitches, but that was back on the 24th. So it's been 4 off days since then. He was up, was it last night? And the Rangers blew it open, so he ended up not going in the game. You start to get to that point where you want to take care of your guys, but then too much rest starts to get you a little bit uncomfortable.
Welcome bat roller up the middle. Bregman goes out. Ronald Guzman, 1 away. Well, coming up later this week, Friday, Rangers and Orioles, a 7:05 first pitch. And the first 15,000 fans are going to get an Eric Nadel 40th anniversary microphone, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Kroger. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com.
Had 3 10-home run seasons with the Rangers. I'm not sure many Ranger fans could have guessed Rod Barajas is the only other guy with 3 of them.
Now, you may or may not know this. Eric has been working this year quite extensively on his limericks.
I am aware.
And so it's to the point now, every day, the 8th inning limerick, they will read on the air. I think it was last night, last night, I got a text from Eric in Espanol, and it was a limerick.
Really?
And it was pretty impressive. And then, like about 5 minutes later, I got another one from him, another limerick in Spanish.
1 ball, 1 strike.
How'd you do?
They were great, man. I read them and I responded in my limited.
So
Spanish
rhyming
as well.
back in Spanish?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I need to check and make sure that the material is appropriate, but if it is, it might be the type of thing I could pass on. Now he was going to run it past Eleno today, Ornelas, our translator, just to make sure that it actually made sense in Spanish, right?
It's got to be safe and it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
And Eleno was without a doubt the go-to guy.
2 balls, 2 strikes here on Robinson Chirinos.
Unless Eleno wouldn't mind setting you up a little bit.
Is Eleno on the left?
Yeah, go ahead. You can post that one. That's fine.
Yeah, put it up there.
The Rangers are looking for a new play-by-play man. After the tweet of Dave Raymond offended everybody.
I'll keep it to myself. Full count on Chirinos now. The fans here a little restless. Now after this one, as Rangers fans know, team will continue on to Arizona, but the Astros will also hit the road. They go on an 8-game trip, Seattle, and then to the National League West to play the Dodgers and the Giants. So there's strike 3 called on Robinson Chirinos, 2 away here in the 9th inning. Seattle, by the way, they scored 7 runs in the first inning today. It's early. They are in Anaheim and they are leading 7-0. But should Seattle win that ball game, and if the Rangers can hold on here, then it would cut it down to just a 4-game divisional lead. Tochi's first at bat of the day. He'll take outside.
17 strikeouts for the Rangers this afternoon. That is 1 short of the season high. Back on July 11th, the Red Sox struck out 18 Rangers. They do have 2 other games in which they struck out 17 times.
Ball and a strike on Tochi. Came in defensively last half inning.
Excuse me, it's 18 now with Robinson Chirinos, so they have a chance here. Hopefully not. But a strikeout would set the season high of 19. But they lost all those other ones, so nobody cares if you win the game.
Favorable count here for Tochi, and he gets a piece. 2-2. On the bottom of the 9th inning, Reddick, Tyler White, and J.D. Davis are the 3 hitters due for Houston. We showed you earlier in the half inning Keone Kela warming up, so Keone likely to come in. 2-2. Now swing and a miss. Oh, there's the strikeout. Well, 1-2-3, top of the 9th inning. Rangers with a 2-run lead. Keone Kela going to try and slam it shut here with the bottom of the 9th and complete the sweep.
Our cricket smile, and Joey Gallo always makes a smile. With this defensive play, he made a smile a little bit. Tough play for Joey, who has not played a lot of right field. Working on those angles, showing off the athleticism and the vertical. And a little bit of a reaction from him and from Mike Minor. As a smile from Minor, certainly appreciative of the effort and the out. And Joey now is in left field after the defensive shift with Carlos Tochi coming into right last inning, and now Keone Kela will take over and try to close things out here for the Rangers.
Josh Reddick, his first opponent. Reddick today 0 for 3. A little high, 1-1. So Evan Grant did a little research. If Kela can complete this thing, Rangers would become the 3rd team ever to strike out 19 times in a 9-inning game and still win it. 2-1 the count.
Ever for the Rangers or ever in baseball?
Ever. Oakland did it in 1997. The Mets did it in 1969.
Boy. I won't be surprised though if we see more of that, or at least
no doubt.
Teams knocking on the door of those kinds of numbers. A completely different game.
Slow roller, second base. 1 away here in the 9th inning. Now Tyler White, boy, this is a guy who's had a series, or rather a ball game today for the Astros. On a day in which the Astros have scored 2 runs on 6 hits. He has 3 of their hits and has scored one of the runs with that home run back in the 2nd inning. White just recalled from AAA Fresno today with Jose Altuve, their second baseman, going to the disabled list. Altuve had missed the first 2 games with soreness in his knee. So Kela, who has had a terrific season as the Rangers closer from day 1, lately has become one of those highly speculated guys in the trade market. A lot of talk about if and would and where might he be traded. Say 23 consecutive games prior to that Oakland series. It's behind a decent hitter here, 3-0. J.D. Davis waiting on deck. White takes low in. That's ball 4. So that ensures that the potential tying run gets to the plate. It's the second walk issued by a Rangers pitcher today.
And the one thing we haven't seen today from the Rangers and what they have done so well over the course of the season has been a double play. So even though Kela is a little bit more of a fly ball pitcher, certainly would be a good time for one this year, or excuse me, this game.
Let's see you working. Like it. Always were an idea guy.
Just one of those this year for Kela. And not surprising. High-powered fastball. He likes to throw up in the zone. Good breaking ball. That's going to lend itself to lots of strikeouts. And he's been great in that area. Nearly 11 per 9. But then more fly balls as well. His ground ball rate is right at 40%. A few ticks below league average.
Not out of the question. Rangers set up for it up the middle. And there's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes on J.D. Davis. Well, the Rangers taking the first 2 games of this series, ensured that they would win the series. It's their first series win since beating the White Sox at the end of June and early July. 0-2, strike 3 called. So Davis turned back 2 away.
That's 97 miles an hour painted on the corner in an 0-2 count. There's nothing Davis can do with this. Right, exactly what Robinson Chirinos asked for it. And Kela delivered. A little bit of cut on that as well. That natural 4-seam cut.
All right, Marwin Gonzalez announced as a pinch hitter here. See, just 1 for 7 against Kela. Marwin getting a day off today. And that was a big decision, a big move. With I've suspected he would have been in at second base had he played. That was a very critical error made at second base today. It may have been the difference in this game.
And part of that may be, as far as the pinch hitting possibility, Kella's been much better against righties this year. They've only hit 128 against them. Lefties have been a little bit better.
Well, Gonzalez has not had a hit in this series. In fact, he is 0 for his last 11. Kella trying to put the finishing touches on a sweep of the Astros. Something no other team has been able to accomplish this year. The 2-0. It is outside. Not only would it be the sweep, it would be the longest losing streak of the year for the Astros at 4 in a row. They had lost 4 of their last 5, in fact, coming into play. Wide over at first. And there's ball 4, so Gonzalez watches 4 pitches. He takes first base. 2 men on now. Chirinos will walk the baseball out there and have a little conversation.
One visit remaining, one mound visit remaining for the Rangers. They have now used 5 of those. They haven't gotten a 0 yet, right? Hasn't happened. You know, and if Chirinos feels like he needs to use it, he certainly can. Again, if something happens within the middle of this at bat. But if that were to happen, that does mean that Doug Brocail could not go out there. Something they got to keep in mind. I think those are the kind of things you don't think about very often.
Well, Tony Kemp, the man at the plate. And he takes strike 1. Good fastball. Wide at second. Marwin Gonzalez at first.
Quiet here at Minute Maid, right? With the idea of the potential tying run at first, go ahead run, winning run at the plate. Making it easy on Kella.
Ground ball through, and that is a base hit. Right around third, they'll send him. The throw comes back to second base. That's a 1-run game. Tony Kemp's first career hit off Kella.
Well, after getting ahead with a fastball, they went to the breaking ball and they tried to go back door. Kind of interesting. And it came back and finished down and in. And a clean base hit for Kemp.
Well, you were wondering when and if this crowd would make some noise, and they have started to make some noise. Gonzalez at second, Kemp at first, George Springer the hitter. We're hoping to avoid seeing Springer in this 9th inning. Four hits in the series, including a home run.
Pretty fascinating numbers for Springer and Kella. He's 1 for 7 with a couple of strikeouts, but 7 walks.
1-1. I wouldn't blame the guy for being a little careful with Springer. But in this spot, you can't really do it.
Nope, and he does have a home run against Kella, does George Springer. So a little bit of a challenge for the Rangers right-hander.
Well, the first 2 wins really without a whole lot of drama. This one coming down to the final hitter. The 1-1, a swing and a miss, strike 2.
It's a really good pitch, 97 miles an hour. We saw this earlier. It's a very similar pitch to Davis. A natural cut at the end. See that thing moving away from George Springer. So Now Keller and Chirinos have a decision to make here. Do you go to the breaking ball? We know how good the breaking ball has been for Keller. The strikeouts that he has racked up with his curveball this year. 33 of the 43 have come on the breaking ball. If he can paint that fastball away in a very similar spot, maybe even slightly off the plate, that'd be a good one too.
Tying run at second. The pitch on the way. That one's fouled off. Exactly what you had suggested there.
Love to see it down just a little bit more. Would make me feel better. But still a very good pitch.
If you throw the curveball here, does it have to be, out of the zone, down low, kind of bounce it?
So the one I'd want to see is the one that starts right down the middle of the plate and finishes down or away. Now Keller's curveball sometimes will go straight down. And so you think about sweeping, it looks like they're going to go fastball maybe up and in.
All right, the 1-2. Way too up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right. Chirinos smiling. Takes direction well. I want it up and in. Well, there it is. That's up and in.
Still a good spot to go. Springer has struggled on fastballs. Middle in, up and in, and even up over the plate.
There's a 2-2. And a high pop-up back behind the plate. Chirinos takes care of it. And the Rangers sweep the Astros in Houston. 4-3 our final score this afternoon. This one a little more drama. But what a series for the Texas Rangers.
Now, they played great, and we talked about this before the game. They sent 7 25 and under players into that lineup this afternoon, and those guys played extremely well against a very tough team. And you see it there, first series sweep of the Astros since May of 2016, and this is